up, boy? Episode motherfucking 12. God damn, dude, 12. Did you just fucking throw up?
Yeah, how can you tell?
Oh, bro. The fuck did you do this past weekend?
I don't fucking remember. Oh, I went to a German festival.
You went to a Nazi festival?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, and it was funny because DJ kept asking, are people going to be dressed as Nazis? But yeah, they just had their funny fucking green fucking hats on and shit
Their
like that.
lederhosens.
Yeah, fucking Elaine kept talking about lederhosens, and I was like, what the fuck is a lederhosen?
Yeah, the typical shit you think of when you think of little German boys or whatever like that, all dressed up, hopping around and whatever. I'm from to fucking Afton, Oklahoma, middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah, went to go meet up with Destiny's. It's her best friend that she grew up with in Illinois, and they also enlisted together and whatnot like that. They were in the guard and active duty or whatever. Originally they were gonna meet up to do like a best friends trip with, because they have teenage daughters that are around the same age, and then end up being, oh well, now her husband's gonna go. Do you want to go? Like, yeah, sure, whatever. So they together, her best friend, husband, like, because they're both previously married and divorced, and now they're married. They both together have 5 daughters.
God damn.
Yeah. And so then
too much estrogen in that fucking household.
Three of them teenagers.
Fuck
and
that.
The other 2 like real young. One's 6, one's, I think, like one's 6, one's right around the same age, but not 6. Then so, and we only brought Maddie. Alex, it wasn't Alex's weekend, so we only brought Maddie. But oh my god, and 2 of their teenagers hate each other. And then Maddie ended up getting an ear infection, so we had to take her to the ER in the middle of fucking nowhere. We're right next to the Cherokee Nation. We didn't go to the reservation ER. We went, like, we were close enough to a regular ER, but still. God, dude, it ended up being like just nonstop drama. I was just like, this wasn't even like a good getaway. Like, going up and coming back, we did stop to see my dad, like, because it was about halfway. So we stopped in Oklahoma City to like grab something to eat real quick and visit with my dad for about an hour. So that was like the only upside. And then going there, we stopped at a restaurant. But you know, my dad never met a stranger, right? And he's like, hey, meet me at this fucking high class ass Mexican restaurant. And when he said that, I was like, Destiny and Maddie, and this is no bullshit, Destiny and Maddie are in pajama onesies right now. That's what they were traveling in.
Oh my god.
And I was just like, I don't know, you want to meet at like PF Chang's or something? I don't know. It's just like, let's just go somewhere else. And he's like, nah, let's just go here. It's like, all right, whatever. So we meet there, and when we get there, there's a sign on the door that says reserved for a private event. And I said this multiple times. My dad just walks in like, I don't care what your sign says.
Fuck that.
And go in. Of course, the hostess says, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're closed for today, right?" And he's like, "Oh, well, okay." So he turns around and walks out. was like, I said it twice. He was like, oh, I didn't see the sign. I was like, whatever, dude. Like, and then the fucking hostess comes back out and he's like, oh, actually, sir, they said you can eat. And the guy comes, the owner of the restaurant that apparently my dad knows. I didn't know this. And he was like, oh, yeah, bro. Yeah, come on in, man. We're open for you. I was like, leave it to my dad to open a closed restaurant. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah. Uh, so we're like sitting there all by ourselves because the party's like in this private area, and we're sitting in the restaurant. I was like, all right, yeah, just chilling. It was really good Mexican food. But on the way back, we stopped by the house. I got to see my little brother, like my actual like 4-year-old baby, my 4-year-old baby brother. But yeah, it was cool to see them. So
Oh, good, good. Well, at least it turned out all right, or I guess.
yeah, I mean, 10 hours on the road out of that stressful ass weekend. So
Yeah, yeah. I fucking despise every time I gotta go to Oklahoma. Like, fuck that place.
yeah, nah, no shit. But
Yeah,
up in Afton, Oklahoma, there's a few DP stickers on some gas pumps. I'll tell you that.
yeah, yeah. Well, and then Oklahoma City, I know there's some around there, and
Yeah.
El Reno, and yeah, yeah.
It's like it's funny, like when you're traveling, right, and you stop in the middle of nowhere, and you're like, where the hell is this? Like, like it'll just being the random most unknown
Oh yeah.
spots in Texas and now in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you know the Buc-ee's in Ennis.
Oh, and Ennis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a fuckload of them on that at
Yeah.
that gas station. Yeah.
and like right here in Alvarado, right? Like
Mhm.
I always fill up at the same QT, but sometimes I'll fill up at the Chevron. And it's usually at the same pumps, right? Well, I pulled up to one of the pumps at the Chevron yesterday to fill up, and I pulled
Mhm.
up to one that I've left on before, and it was still
Yeah.
there, but you could tell that either someone who had pulled up to fill up, or maybe the person that works there was trying to get it off, and they
Mhm.
couldn't get it off, so they just scratched the barcode off, like to where it
Oh
couldn't be
shit.
scanned. So I just stuck one right over it again. Because I always have some in my pocket. You never know where you can
Oh
put one.
yeah,
So
yeah. Oh yeah. I've got some in my Slam Black truck, and I've got them in my Chevy, and yeah, yeah. You never know when you need them.
no, I always have them in my pocket, no matter what. Because even when I was getting my haircut, and me and my barber, like I've been with this barber since I first moved here. And when I went and I was looking for a barber, I only went to like one other place before I got to him, and I stuck with him. That spot
Mhm.
had just opened up, and when I got there, he's like part owner of it, and he was the
Mhm.
only barber there for a while. So these other barbers have come and go and stuff like that. Well, um, so me and him are real cool, and the barber is in the chair next to us. He's a prior army, and he actually was stationed down at Fort Hood.
Oh
And
shit.
so we'll be talking every now and then. And then my barber, he was talking. I was like, yeah, man, he does a podcast too. He's like, oh yeah, no shit. What is it? I want to look it up. So just reached in my pocket and I gave him a sticker, and he
Mhm.
scans
Oh
it
yeah.
and they start following everything. So
He should have stuck it on his fucking little mirror right there.
I mean, I don't know where he's gonna put it or whatever like that, but it was just as easy, And he was just like, I assume this name is on purpose. He was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, of course it's on purpose. I was like, and it means exactly what you think it means. It's just not what you think it is. It's to pull you in and be like, huh, scan it because you're curious, and then you see what you're gonna see. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Fucking dudes fucking trying to get on the goddamn Google, and they type it in double penetration and want to fucking beat off, and fucking us pop up and they're like, hold on, let me check this out.
but and I had a really great idea for as soon
Mhm.
so for anybody who doesn't know yet, some people do, that we've talked to it about. Um, but we're already trying to start getting working on our new show with my wife. But when we finally get it going and everything, right, and we start kind of updating the site and whatever, it's gonna be even better when we update the link tree, right? And we have us there, and I'm gonna put her in the middle because it's gonna even further push the narrative
I know.
of
I was just thinking that I'm like,
of double penetration entertainment, right?
yeah, I was just thinking that I'm like,
Because then I'll rearrange the links, right, to
mhm.
for our show than her show, right? But again, like because at the top it has double penetration entertainment
Yeah,
LLC, right? So
yeah,
then
yeah.
you have us two, and then you put her in the middle, right? And it's just going, but it's going to like further like push that whole facade onto it.
I gotta look at my filing paperwork. I don't think it's an LLC. Well, I know it's not an LLC. It's a C corp, but
You said it was a LLC.
no, it's C corp.
Bro, that I swear to God, when you sent it to me, you said it was and I've been putting it on everything. So like now you're gonna tell me it's not, dumb bitch.
It's a C corp. I don't set anything up as a LLC. I set everything up as a C corp. But speaking of fucking shit looking like porn, I talked to a good buddy of mine yesterday, and so for it, I can't drop his name, but I'm gonna do this for him. Fucking actually, before I do it, I'll fucking tell a couple stories real quick, little short ones. One time, me and this motherfucker are running down the road, and we're in probably 8,000-pound vehicles. He's driving one, I'm in the other one. Fully loaded with everything in them. Probably 11, 12, 14,000 pound vehicles. Like, yeah. So we're hauling ass. I think these things are governed at like 108, 106 or some shit like that. There's a chick going down the road, and I don't remember what was going on. I don't remember everything about it, but fucking he passes this bitch on one shoulder, I pass her on the other shoulder, and we fucking pass this bitch. And meanwhile, this fucking dude, everywhere he's driving, like during the day, fucking, you know how it is, you're fucking whatever, but this motherfucker inconspicuously while driving jacks off everywhere. And back then he'd be I swear to fucking God. He fucking inconspicuously be beating his fucking beat.
So he drove an automatic, is what you're saying.
Pretty much. Well, yeah, he definitely drove an automatic, but yeah, man. And the fucked up thing is, like, you roll one of these, like, you're probably getting fucked up. And but yeah, he fucking I told him last night, I was like, we were talking about some different shit, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna fucking throw you under the bus. He's like, don't say my name, don't fucking do that. And I'm like, fine, fucking, I can tell some stories that only some of us will know fucking who it was. Like,
Yeah.
I guarantee a fucking bunch of us will fucking know who did that. But no, we were fucked up back then, like shit wars and stuff like that. Like, fucking one of these motherfuckers shits in my pack of cigarettes. Yeah, he fucking put a turd in my fucking cigarette, and I went to fucking, when you're fucking hauling ass, you fucking go over and you grab it. I fucking motherfucker, throw it out. Fucking this son of a bitch would always, we'd be fucking everywhere we'd go. He, you're in the truck or whatever, and fucking he'd piss in a Gatorade bottle or whatever he's got in there, because you can't stop anywhere. And or you're on long drives and there's nowhere to stop, and this motherfucker would sling that fucking piss bottle out of the fucking window, and it fucking hit me, and it fucking splatter all over my shit, so now my shit smells like piss, and I'm like, you motherfucker. Yeah. One day I shit in a fucking and I didn't do it to him. It was after the shit stuff started. And I'm like, fuck these motherfuckers. So one of the other guys I had with me, and we went out, and I had shit in one of those dry creamer bottles. So he probably doesn't know who did this until fucking, and I
Dry
believe he
coffee
listens.
creamer or something?
Yeah, dry coffee
Oh
creamer bottles.
God, dude.
The ones with the blue top and you just
Yeah,
pop
yeah,
the
yeah,
lid
yeah.
and yeah. So I shit in it and I stick it in his vehicle. And and it was fucking hot. Like it was hot out. And it's just sitting there parked all day, and because they were with me that day. And we get back and fucking um and he was putting some shit in there or something like that. I don't remember what happened, but he's doing something and he opens that fucking door and he's, God damn, it smells like fucking shit in here. He's searching this motherfucker looking for, he looks at this creamer bottle probably 4 fucking times, never grabs it, doesn't think anything of it, you know what I mean? And so I was like, hey B, what's this? And I grabbed this fucking creamer bottle and he comes over, he's like, I don't know, probably old creamer or something. And I fucking turned it at him and the little flap is open and it's fucking hot and swollen and I squeeze it and it wafts that hot shit air in his fucking face.
God, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We were fucking, the fucking pranks were bad back then. But for the one that I can't say his name, I did not have lime juice, but and I didn't have a certain liquor. But I improvised and lime juice and fucking, it's supposed to take heavy, like a 101 fucking whiskey, but it's called a snake bite for you, you little fucking bitch. It's so bad. I fucking don't know why he likes these motherfuckers. Oh, god damn. Mm. Yeah. Fuck that bitch. Yeah. And he said I need to quit putting as much dip in my mouth on the shows.
yeah. I told you, you need to have some mouth with that fucking dip.
He's like, fucking, how much fucking chew are you using? And I'm like, I don't know, fucking couple cans a day, 2, 3, 4, depends on what I'm doing. Like if I'm out and about, I might fucking use a whole can at once. I don't know.
Like fucking just a fucking chipmunk storing nuts for the winter in your goddamn cheek.
Yeah. God, man, I don't know why he likes some fucking snake bites. Ugh. Anyways, what you got today? What you think?
Well, I sent a video to you yesterday, watched it, and then we came across some pretty interesting information because we started reaching out to some of our contacts on our end to try to not verify, because he did very good verification on his own, but to try to dig a little bit deeper into what he did, because it was quite interesting on what he found. So I don't want to steal his content. I want to give him credit where credit is due, but we got it from the YouTube channel Trigger Smart. Okay. Real knowledgeable dude. He actually dug up some pretty great stuff. So he's been doing a lot of great work in kind of going through the whole Charlie Kirk assassination narrative, and kind of like us and a lot of great channels poking a lot of holes in the Fed narrative that does not add up in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of things that it's one thing to sit here and be like, what we can see with our own eyes and what's reported, with common sense, even if you are not a ballistics expert, prior military, prior law enforcement, just knowledgeable about guns in general, person with this common sense can look at that and be like, what you see and what you're being told does not make sense. Okay. It to me, that's what that common sense and logic, and just regular logic come into play, right? Then you get people like you and me, and people like this guy on Trigger Smart, and like Valhalla VFT, and just people in general start coming through and be like, no, not plausible, not very plausible. almost impossible. Like you can't go 100% impossible because, you know, you just have that
Yeah, any
0.001 possibility that it could
yeah.
happen, but it's just not very likely, right? But
Mhm.
guy on Trigger Smart broke down the security detail that was working for Charlie during his assassination. And apparently, after he died, well, after he was shot, and they were going through everything at the time, there was a interview that I didn't see at the time with his prior security group that ran his security for 7 years, basically at the beginning of Turning Point until 2022
Yeah.
when the security team that was working at the time of the assassination took over. Okay. Now, the security group that was working prior to that, from the start of Charlie Kirk to 2022, was Schaefer Security Group, who the owner and CEO is Greg Schaefer. Now, you're the one that told me Schaefer Security Group is top tier, hot shit. They know their stuff.
Yeah,
They've
they're
been
good.
around now, granted, it's not like they've been around for ages because they got their start right around the same time that Charlie Kirk came around. But
Mhm.
again, even from that time till now, they're still top tier stuff.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they've got a really good reputation, really good reputation. And Greg Schaefer, he's ex FBI, everything like that, ex Coast Guard. He still teaches counterterrorism, shooter training, and everything to a lot of government agencies as well as public agencies. So, yeah, they are top tier, 100%. Good operators, everything like that.
yeah. Then guy on Trigger Smart broke down to when Greg Schaefer, when Schaefer Security Group lost the contract in 2022 to Integrity Security Solutions, which is quote unquote a subsidiary of Rockhouse Integrity Group, kind of the same thing, but it's Rockhouse Integrity Group, and then Integrity Security Solutions, they fall into that group, right? But the CEO of that is Brian Harpool. Now we've seen Brian Harpool. They got interviewed by
Mhm.
Sean Ryan, and he
Yeah,
was the guy. He was on the ground when, of course, right there when Charlie was assassinated, and he was doing the whole first aid and whatnot. Right? He was in
didn't get his
the
hands bloody, but yeah.
yeah, he was in the gray. He was in the gray colored shirt right there, standing up. I think it was front right of Charlie. So then, but another thing about Greg Schaefer, real quick, is Greg Schaefer was not only providing as a security group, he was also working as the security director for TP USA and providing private security for Charlie Kirk. But as a security director part time for TP USA, he was a contract hire part time during that time while doing full time security with his company, Schaefer Security Group, for Charlie Kirk, right?
Yeah.
During that time from 2015 to 2022 to late 2022. Now, in February of 2022, okay, because when they lost this, when the contract was lost, there's no exact date. It just says late 2022 is what I could find. Okay, but in February, specifically February 2022, Dan Flood was brought on full-time employee, not as a contract hire like Greg Schaefer, was brought on as a full-time employee as the Turning Point USA security director, okay, in February 2022. Then late 2022 is when the contract for Schaefer Security was dropped, and then Rockhouse Integrity Group, and with the subsidiary of Integrity Security Solutions, took over the full-time security contract for Charlie Kirk in TPUSA from Brian Harpool in late 2022. Okay, and that's when Schaefer Security Group lost the contract that they've had for the entire time for Charlie Kirk, because it was the sole security for Charlie Kirk his entire career. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here is what Trigger Smart pointed out that was very shady. And when you and I talked about this is where possibilities of and possible allegations of corporate espionage could have played into this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now this is all surmising on our part. This is all alleged. We have no proof of this. This is just from our outside looking in because it's just this doesn't seem right. Okay, we have no proof of this. This is all alleged, and this is all our opinion. We want to put that out there first and foremost. So, Brian Harpool, the CEO of Rockhouse Integrity Group and Integrity Security Solutions, and Dan Flood, for the new security director for TPUSA, both worked for Schaefer Security Group for almost the entire time for Greg Schaefer during the contract hire for Charlie Kirk at TPUSA for TPUSA. Now, in February of 2022, when Dan Flood was brought on as TPUSA director full-time, replacing Greg Schaefer's part-time contract hire, that gave him advanced internal knowledge of contract dealings and how much they were paying for security for Schaefer Security Group. That's where we say that's shady, because now he could give information to his best friend, Brian Harpool, because Greg Schaefer said that Brian Harpool and Dan Flood were best friends while serving for him at Schaefer Security Group. Because then Brian Harpool comes in and undercuts Schaefer Security Group to win the contract in late 2022, because Dan Flood had already been there since February, early 2022, and takes over the contract and undercuts Greg Schaefer. And even Greg Schaefer identifies this as, mentioned this and described this action as a betrayal, saying that Flood and Harpool stabbed him in the back by undercutting his firm to snatch the TPUSA contract. That's what Trigger Smart pointed out. And that's when I also said he noted that Flood and Harpool were best friends on his protection team for Charlie Kirk working at SSG, Schaefer Security Group. So that's where we're like, holy shit. Did Flood give privileged information to Harpool to make sure that he won the contract and beat Schaefer's bid? Because, I mean, you have an insanely highly experienced, qualified security firm that has protected Charlie Kirk for 7 years and TPUSA events. And then you have these guys that worked for him come out of nowhere and steal this contract. And then what happens 3 years later?
Real quick. So you saw that the contract was given to Harpool in late 2022.
Yeah, that's what it said, late 2022.
Here's the weird thing about
and Dan
that.
Flood started his position as security director February 2022.
Here's the weird thing about that. The formation date, so the incorporation date for Rockhouse is May of 2023.
The formation of their business corp.
Yeah. And he did it as a private LLC in Texas. Formation date May 2023.
For Rockhouse Integrity Group.
Yeah, Rockhouse Integrity Group, doing DBA, Integrity Security Solutions. So they got the contract before they even were before the formation.
So they were doing whatever they could to win this contract without even a solid business set up. Essentially, our opinion on the situation based on public information that we can find.
Yeah, so here's a couple of my problems with the situation. Is you had Harpool, and what was the other dickhead's name?
Dan Flood.
Dan Flood. You had uh, well, one's Pool, one's a fucking, one's a Flood. I'm just gonna call them the Water Brothers. Fucking the Water Brothers here.
Watergate.
Fuck. The Water Brothers here, with them working for Schaefer, we don't know how much of pricing was discussed prior, how much internal knowledge, all that good shit.
Yeah.
They could have potentially seen a lot. Then, especially with one of the Flood brothers going to work for, or one of the Water brothers going to work for TPUSA, then he gets to see all the internal pricing documents. He can pass everything right over to fucking Harpool and tell him exactly where he needs to be to undercut everyone. The problem with that, all this, is there's no competition in that market. You are, reducing your quality of operation, and because here's the thing, if fucking if it wasn't even incorporated, it wasn't even started, they essentially set up a fucking QuickBooks, made a couple bids, sent them over with whatever it was. They didn't have the assets, they didn't have the personnel, they didn't have the fucking training, they didn't have anything.
Because then you also have to think about this. If they, so you have based on what you're looking up on public knowledge, on public information, the corporation wasn't formed until, you said, May 2023, right?
Yeah, May 2023.
Okay. And the contract was awarded, again, based on public knowledge, late 2022. If, say, Charlie or someone in executive positions at TPUSA was given, like, quote unquote, official paperwork showing that this was, an official setup type company, right? Like, just say they were given what they led to believe and assumed was all set up. Now you have to assume that Flood and Harpool were defrauding TPUSA at the moment just to win a contract.
Absolutely, because there could have been no due diligence made. Like, you couldn't do the proper vetting process.
Because at that point, you're trusting your security director to have done that.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of your security director.
Yeah, and then that being his best friend, here's the thing, going forward, there's too much of a conflict of interest. Every little fuck up, every little thing, it's just like, let's sweep it under the rug. Hey, buddy, never happened. We'll make it right to sweep it under the fucking rug.
Because they're like, we'll have it set up and everything like that. Don't worry, so.
Yeah, there's an area of business that you can get away with that kind of shit, the buddy system, all that. Yeah. But whenever people's lives are at stake, you can't. Like, honestly, if they're not charged with something for negligent homicide or, some sort of manslaughter fucking case, then I think the justice system's doing a disservice. Yeah. Whether fucking Charlie Robinson did it or not, who gives a fuck? The fact that,
did you say Charlie Robinson?
Or what's his name? Charlie Robinson's the singer. Tyler Robinson. I like music. Fuck you.
But yeah, it's just like, now at this point, based off of what, like I said, the guy on Trigger Smart uncovered, and what we found out after the fact, once we reviewed what he found and we reached out to our contacts, not to say that the security team had anything to do necessarily with the assassination at hand, but I think that there needs to be an investigation into this team and the overall contract assumption to TPUSA, because the timeline of it, the conflict of the security director and the CEO of Rockhouse, and both of them coming from Schaefer, you know, being best friends, everything is extremely concerning, and to the point of what we still have to go over and what we found out. It does again lead to more questions of, could they have led to having some responsibility for the reason why Charlie is dead? Not that they had a hand in arranging or being a part of the assassination, but for the fact that they had no business being having this company, because they're just simply not qualified to run a company like this based off of what we found. Because like I said, none of this makes sense, because as we went forward, right, and the contract was taken over in late 2022, and they both came
hold on, back that up. It was not it would not have been taken over in late 2022. So what would have happened is they would have issued out RFP or RFQ, and then they would have issued it out to X amount of vetted or pre-vetted contractors. Then the contractors would submit a bid for the RFP or the RFQ. They would go through a vetting process, all that good shit, then look at the pricing and say, okay, we can live with this. This is what we need. Then they would do the award. And I'm assuming that then what it would have happened is they would have had a transition phase. So they may have offered or sent out the RFPs or RFQs in, sometime in 2022. And then awarded it 6 months later, and that would have been late 2022. And then they would have given, let's say, 6 months to a year for the execution date of which is a bad word for this whole situation right now, but it's that for the execution date of the contract. And that's where Integrity would have taken over. So they would not have taken over in 2022. They would have taken over.
So I'm reading, I'm going back over Trigger Smart's notes here. It says late 2022, transition to Rockhouse Integrity Security in 2022. Two key members of Schaefer's team, Dan Flood and Brian Harpool, left Schaefer Security Group and effectively took over TPUSA security contract. Harper launched a new Texas-based firm called Rockhouse Integrity Group, doing business as Integrity Security Solutions around that time. Schaefer has not been under contract with TPUSA since 2022, and switched to Harpool's company for Charlie Kirk events. Schaefer, by early 2023, Integrity Security Solutions Rockhouse was the primary security. So the contract was officially awarded in 2022. So what you're probably talking about was already done beforehand. Well, that's what I'm saying. By late 2022, they had already gotten all that done. I know what you're talking about because I deal with that too at work.
No, they couldn't if Rockhouse wasn't incorporated until May.
I know what you're saying, but that's what I'm telling you, is you have to assume that if they're doing the whole buddy system, since Flood was a security director in February of 2022, there might have been some false paperwork put in to move this along. Maybe, allegedly. That's what I'm saying, though, because this is based off of what the guy in Trigger Smart brought up. That's what I'm telling you.
I don't know, because see, some of it doesn't make fucking sense to me.
Yeah, because a lot of shit in this whole thing doesn't make sense. But why wouldn't this make sense?
Because honestly, the business would have had to been incorporated prior. Then they would have had to, have their whole training regiment. They'd have to have their personnel in place for the whole vetting process.
But see, all it says here is transition to Rockhouse Integrity Security in 2022. That's what it says right here.
I don't know how you could transition to a new company that doesn't exist, because number one, that company can't fucking bill you.
But here, but then it says by early 2023, which would be, I guess you would consider May, early 2023. Integrity Security Rockhouse was primary security. So maybe that's when they, quote unquote, officially was all done because they were doing whole transition stuff
Yeah,
in that time
that
frame.
could have been what it was, but still, these fucking dumbasses, man. Number one, it's negligent. It is negligent that they fucking chose a company, switched companies that they can't even fucking vet. Like that's a fucking problem. And beyond that, it's God, man, they're so fucking ridiculous. Like there needs to be a true investigation into this shit. If Turning Point is not complicit in the assassination of Charlie, and they really wanted to get to the bottom of it, and they really wanted effective action against the death of their founder, they would launch an internal investigation. They would file a lawsuit for wrongful death against the Water brothers, like honestly, because they need to do an internal audit, internal investigation, look at every other company that fucking bid on them at the time. They need to look at what due diligence was done to vet every one of those companies, and honestly look at what the incorporation date of Rockhouse was. Yeah, because it was after the award. You can't fucking do that. You can't. Like, you and I can't fucking get online right now on the government website for bids and contracts and start bidding on a motherfucker, or like on a couple contracts that are high risk contracts where they're going to have to vet us, because they're going to look at it and they're going to be like, oh no, them two dumbasses, they don't even have a company. It doesn't even exist. Like, overlook them.
Yeah.
Like, what is the company name on the submitted RFP? Like, was it Rockhouse? Was it Integrity? Was it, something different? Like, is that why it's Rockhouse Integrity? Or is it what is the name? Harpool? Harpool, originally intended the company to be called Integrity Security Solutions. And let's say in the meantime, someone else incorporated under that name. So now what he had to do is he had to go back and pick a different name and then do a DBA of it to get to where he needed to where he was, because he had submitted a bullshit bid on the contract under a name that didn't exist. You know what I mean? That's what I'm assuming, because I want to know why he's doing a DBA from Rockhouse. Like, why not use Rockhouse name? I want an answer on why'd you do a DBA on a new company? Like, if I was to start a company right now, I wouldn't just do a DBA of something. I would start the company with the name I wanted. And then what I would do is, if I opened up different branches in other places, then I might do DBAs. And I might set them up as franchises or leases or something like that. But he set up his flagship operation with a DBA, and it makes no fucking sense. Don't understand why he would do that.
Yeah. But what one thing that the guy on Church Smart brought up was the Integrity Security Solutions website, or Rockhouse website, is now gone. So that begs the question: is the company out of business now? Because now, from what you and I have kind of reached out on some contacts, it appears that TPUSA was their only major contract. That was it.
Yeah, that's how it's sounding.
Yeah, and they failed at their one job, protect their detail, and they failed.
Mm-hmm.
And rumors are nobody wants to touch those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you want to hire those guys? I mean,
well, the shitty part about that is, so I'm going to say a couple things. Obviously, their operational planning wasn't done well in a couple areas and a couple facets.
And that's leadership failure. Top down.
Okay, so I'm going to put it like this. If you're on a military op is your CO going to be riding with you or in a dangerous situation, or is he going to be back giving commands?
He should be giving commands.
Exactly. Exactly. Why the fuck is Harpole standing out there in a protective nature? He shouldn't. He's not an operator. He is the CEO of that fucking operation, that company. There's no reason he should have been on the front fucking lines. I'm assuming that his insurance on that company would not allow that. There's got to be some information, some clauses in his insurance policy, on his GL policy or whatever, for what he can do and what he can't. Because here's the thing, let's say hypothetically that was a mass casualty event, okay? There's a mass casualty event, and it's not just taking out Charlie, it's taking out the security team, it's taking out, or part of the security team, it's taking out some of the attendees, all that. Why in the fuck are you going to have your CEO in that facet where they're in a high-risk situation? Because now there is no one to pass on that leadership of that company to. And here's the thing, if there's any debt associated with that company, now where's that passed to? Is there just the fucking framework in general, man? Like, you don't fucking do that.
Does Greg go out on fucking security details? Schaefer?
I would assume he does not.
I have no idea.
I don't know. But reach out to people.
This is the reason why I say that this is a leadership failure from top down, given that, Harpole is, the leader, chief CEO guy, right?
Oh, actually, hold on. Before you say that, before you go into this, I want to say, carry on from what I was just saying. The operators that were involved in that, whether they are ex-military, ex-law enforcement, whatever, those are not bad guys. They, like you said, it's bad leadership. And the fact that if some of them are out there looking for new jobs right now,
they should be hired.
I absolutely. I hope they're not ostracized. I hope they're not overlooked for positions, because you got to think some of these guys that now, because they've got a, smear on their resume,
a loss.
That, yeah. Well, I'm going to call it a smear on their resume that overshadows whether they went to Buds or,
combat tours, whatever.
Yeah. Well, they're supposedly they get a lot of like JSOC and soft operators. So, whether they're 18 series guys or, Ranger guys or fucking, Marine Recon guys, Buds, whatever it is. Like, I hope that the casualty on their watch does not affect their resume and overshadow all their training and their professionalism whenever it was bad leadership and bad oversight that potentially caused this scenario. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Last thing that I want to point out that the Trigger Smart guy brought up was that Dan Flood is no longer on the TPUSA executive page. Now, you could say, well, maybe they just took him off that page. Well, what he did is, like anybody else on the executive page, if you search their name in the search bar, you can find their bio that comes up. You search Dan Flood's name, his name, nothing comes up. So now that brings up the question, is he fired or did he resign? You know what I mean? So is this a possibility of him being fired or resigning due to, the massive security failure and the founder and CEO getting assassinated? Don't know. Moving forward on that, when you go through qualifications and experience for security and protection prior to 2022, we'll break it down by Dan Flood, Brian Harpole, and Greg Schaefer. Okay. So starting with Dan Flood. He's prior Marine. He specialized in counterterrorism while in the Marines. He was in Marines from 97 to 03. Not a particular long time, but whatever. His security and protection career experience prior to 2022, when he went to work for TP USA as a security director, was only at Schaefer Security Group. From 2016 to 2022, working for Schaefer Security Group as on the TP USA security team for Charlie. That's his only security protection career experience. Because in between all that, that's when in Trigger Smart Guy also brought up stuff like he took like a massive like break and like career detour. Spent 14 years, he says, as an executive in the animal health industry, honing management skills. Can you fucking believe that? He went from 97 to 03 in counterterrorism in the Marines to 14 years in the animal health industry, honing his management skills, then decides to come and do 6 years in protective career in the Schaefer Security Group, and then goes to be the TP USA Security Director. It's quite a fucking leap, if you tell me.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, and he has a bachelor's of science in commerce from A&M. So let's just throw that there. Brian Harpool. He has 14 years as a Texas law enforcement officer. Did patrol, SWAT, narcotics, bicycle unit. He did some training, worked some administration. Okay, so 14 years as a cop.
Hold on, could you not say narcotics?
Whatever. Then he moved on to Schaefer Security Group as well. He did the full 7 years with the TP USA contract, which is one more than Dan Flood, because Dan Flood didn't come on until 2016. Again, that's aside from his law enforcement days, he protection and security career was only the Schaefer Security Group, working for the TP USA contract for the Charlie Kirk unit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before he left to start Rockhouse Security, Rockhouse Integrity, right?
Yeah.
Now it says he has an honors graduate degree from Columbia College, but it doesn't say what it's in, but whatever. Now, Greg Schaefer, this guy is a fucking beast. Okay. So he did 11 years active duty in the Coast Guard. Now, us military guys, we give the Coast Guard a lot of shit. But this dude was one of those guys in the Coast Guard that you'd want to be, because he was a commanding officer of the U.S. Coast Guard Cutter Point Steel, which is an 84-foot patrol boat. Those guys do interdictions for the fucking like drug runner boats and stuff like that in the Gulf. Okay. This is that type of guy. Okay. A leader amongst leaders out there fucking doing shit as a captain of a boat. Okay. You know what I mean? So this dude lives, breathes, and bleeds leadership right there in the Coast Guard. Okay. Then he transitioned to the reserves. He was still in the Coast Guard reserves, but he went to the FBI and did 20 years in the FBI and retired from the FBI. Okay. In 2015, 6 years, he was an operator on the elite hostage rescue team. Okay. And when he retired in 2015, that's when he started Schaefer Security Group. Now, while he was in the FBI, he led major security events such as the 2011 NFL Super Bowl for counterterrorism assessment and security, the 2011 NBA Finals, the 2010 All-Star Game, and the 2010 and 2011 MLB World Series. He has led mass security details, anti-terrorism, and all kinds of mass events for protection and details and security. He did this for decades. Okay, he has unfathomable experience in leadership and planning and counterterrorism. This all this guy has done for God knows how long.
Oh yeah.
He has his bachelor's in management from the Coast Guard Academy, and he has his master's certificate in strategic intelligence from the Australian Institute of Police Management. It's crazy. Then you have these two fuckers that worked for him and then go and start a security company with no leadership experience whatsoever and think that they can take over for this massive fucking political organization and do
They're
this.
the team. They are the Timu fucking war dogs.
Yeah. Like,
Fuck.
it's just, that's why I say this is a leadership failure, and that why they hold some responsibility for why Charlie is dead, because there's clear, in our opinion, of alleged, just from what we see, corporate espionage, contract just
negligence.
But no, like, that's why I say that these guys hold some responsibility of why Charlie died, because they have zero fucking leadership experience. They can't equivalate the fact that they have experience in protection, because to me, this is, you kind of answer your question of why was Brian Harpool on the ground there? He's not an operator. No, well, he technically is. That's all he knows. So he wants to be on the ground because that's all he's fucking done. He doesn't know how to be a leader and command and direct. He wants to be on the ground doing what he knows. So when he responds to the situation at hand, like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go jump and do everything, but he doesn't know how to plan and lead and make sure everything is good, because he's just doing what he knows best and being there in the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, that's why I'm saying it's like, this is a leadership failure. He should not have been on the ground. He shouldn't have owned that fucking company. Schaefer should have never lost that contract. I think that if Greg Schaefer, I don't want to say 100%, obviously, you just don't know what's going to happen, but there would have been a much, much less likelihood that Charlie would have died if Schaefer never lost that contract, because Schaefer knew what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and then beyond that, they had 13 guys on that detail, right?
Yeah, and before you go too far with that, the guy in, I don't know if you remember, in that Trigger Smart was saying that there's conflicting reports of whether it was 12 or 13, because some reports say 12, some reports say 13. So now we're like, okay, well, who's the 13th guy? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, who's the 13th man?
Exactly.
But here's my thing, and that wasn't a terribly large venue. So to have 13 guys on a venue that small, that's kind of weird for starters. So just because, on those kind of security details, you run teams, and I could see you running 2 teams, possibly maybe 8 guys, because a team would be 4 guys. But having 13 guys, so that many guys in a small venue like that, where the shot came from, how many yards away? 200 yards away?
It was between 100. It was between 150 and 200 or something like that.
Okay, whatever the fucking shot came from, supposedly. Here's the thing: having 13 guys on that op, why did you not have someone scanning the roofs? Like, even if they weren't running a drone, because so the security detail is there for honestly, mainly for the security bubble. So right around whoever's being protected. Okay, now you've got the secondary layer where that's going to look at your further out positions and potential threats. Well, if they had already discussed the threat in the OPSEC of the roofs, why didn't Harpool sit down with his team in his pre-op briefing and say, listen, this is in a recessed venue, we've got some overhead vantage points, we're going to go heavy here, so we're not going to run a 6-man team or 2 8-man teams. We're going to run 12, 13 guys. And, this is the security bubble. So this is a protection bubble right here. This guy, this guy, this is all your different positions. Here's where, you're looking. here's where you're scanning. So you're going to scan in waves. So, I'm going to be looking here in this area. This guy over here, he's going to scan here. So he's going to overlap and see part of where I'm seeing. And they've got it, it all coned out to the fatal funnel.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have guys that are in a higher position where that area over the top of Charlie would have been a phenomenal perch, where you could have had two guys up there, one on each end, or three that are looking at everything in front of them, to the 12 o'clock, and you're looking at every rooftop around there. You're going to see the moment. Hold on. This is how much it pisses me off.
Well, you remember that fucking screenshot I sent you, that where there's a clear, like, it was someone in the crowd who was just taking a video, whatever, like that, and you zoom in, there is at one point there is a cop on the overhead, and that's behind Charlie, where the 10, you got like the walkway that's above Charlie behind him right now.
Mm-hmm.
There is a cop at one point over there with direct eyesight to where they say the shot came from.
Mm-hmm.
But then not too long before the shot, he just all of a sudden disappears. Why did that cop leave? Where the fuck did he go?
Yeah.
But again, like you're saying, right now, granted, the crowd got crazy big, crazy fast in that area. They estimated about 3,000 people, and they weren't expecting it. Now that's a lot of people. So a 13-man detail to your thing is justifiable, but you are right that there is no reason why at least one person could not be eyes up.
I would run three guys. on that overwatch position behind them.
But I'm saying, there's, like you're saying 1-3, I'm saying there's no reason why at least one could not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So hypothetically, you're looking out from behind. You're watching, okay? So like you're watching me. So this is the top of a fucking building you can see. All you see is the flat surface, right?
Yep.
You see just the mesa of the building. So
Yep.
if you see someone from a distance pop up and coming across and stop and get down, you can see that. That's a threat. That's someone that's not supposed to be there. So you might have different buildings around, but on those buildings, you'll see someone get up and coming across. That's a threat. And if you're sitting here and you're scanning,
especially someone who's in all black in a very bright, non-cloudy day.
Buildings, white and gray fucking buildings.
And not only that, that guy that I sent you today, that fucking Green Beret that is very adamant that everything is true. God, what the fuck's his name? Gary something?
Gary, fucking idiot. Like it'd be one thing if he said it.
Yeah, okay,
not plausible, but possible.
Gary Melton, Paramount Tactical. Okay, Gary Melton, Paramount Tactical. There was a video that he had posted. He went to UVU and actually like walked. Apparently he did I retraced the steps and proved that this is what happened or whatever, right? And he went to the stairwell, that Brian Harpole said that he had texted the chief of police saying, hey, I'm told there's a stairwell with access to the roof, whatever like that. And then saying like, I got it or whatever like that. And so he's like, why would I, send somebody when the chief of police says I got it, whatever like that? Maybe because you should do due diligence and make sure that your person is covered. Right. Mm-hmm. But, and whenever he walked up the stairs to the point, right. And he's like, look, cause it's still fenced off. Like it doesn't allow you to walk over there right now, but he was doing his phone and everything like that. And even when with his phone, he kind of zoomed into where it was. There is no like here's the thing. There is no upward point. It just goes straight to the edge. So again, there was nothing to even if there was like someone just scanning, there's nothing to like try to hide behind. Like you would have saw somebody. No, there was nothing.
Hence why I said to you in the beginning is that is a horrible crow's nest.
Yeah.
Horrible Overwatch point. You know, like, no fucking, this is why this shit does not add up. It doesn't. And I'm going to give it like this. From the fucking point that Harpool and the other security detail that was on the ground, from the angle I looked at on fucking Google Earth, if they're scanning the crowd, and so they're going through waves, and they're scanning the crowd,
even peripheral vision,
scanning up, scanning up, scanning over, scanning down, over, up, down, and they're watching everyone, looking for what fucking idiots. How fucking dumb do these motherfuckers have to be? And, in a Harpool, let's say he thought, hypothetically, that he sees someone on that fucking roof. He hasn't said that, but let's say he saw someone, and he's like, you know what? Campus security said that they've got that covered, right? But they didn't confirm with me what they were going to cover it with. That guy's got a fucking rifle. Hold on. Hey, Chief, you got a sniper on an Overwatch position? No? Oh, fuck. We got to get, Charlie out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Common fucking sense. Common fucking sense. And there was no common sense given there.
Or you react, get your guy out of there until you can confirm that it's not a threat. Like, you don't just trust, you don't just trust and then verify. You react and then you come back later. Like,
that crowd would have been fine if they said, hey, they get Charlie back behind the tent and say, we've got to check on a threat real quick, or fucking sneak someone up behind him where, God, there's about a million things, playing fucking Monday morning quarterback that should have been done. Yeah. But it's like, holy fuck, bro. Like, just bad operational sense, like horrible operational sense. And here's another funny thing. The fucking roof that they say that Robinson shot from?
Yeah.
That's not even the roof that fucking Harpool was talking about that was a threat. That is not the roof.
What was he saying? What was he saying?
He was talking on a different roof. I don't remember which one it was now off the top of my head, but there was a different roof that he was actually talking about. That is not the roof that he was discussing. I actually think it might have been the roof that I think that originally I said that I thought the shot came from.
From the...
Yeah, the east. Northeast.
Sorensen Center. Harpool described the shooter's precise vantage point as a loophole on the Sorensen Center roof. I'm gonna go look at something real quick. Dude, I'm about to flip out because I think you're right.
I am right.
Dude, you're not. You're barely right sometimes. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find that aerial view.
If I remember right in the conversation, he was talking about the northeast building.
Yeah, good map here.
Which, remember, that one's the one that we can see the roof, and you can see that roof access on it.
Yep.
They had that roof access door.
For sure, right here. Yep, that's where. Okay, you son of a bitch.
What?
It's on the Lucy Center. My comment still stands.
Yeah, well.
Hang on. I'm going to bring up the Sean Ryan interview. I'm going to play exactly where he says Sorensen Center.
Which one's the Sorensen Center?
I don't care. I just want to bring it up.
Is that where Dickhead shot from? I thought he shot from the Women's Center.
No, he shot from the Lorcy Center.
Okay.
Because I mean, at least that's what I'm finding online, like where they do the overhead view. Like, here's where Charlie Kirk was, here's where the shooter was, and it's being labeled as the Lorcy Center.
Okay, I thought he shot from the Women's Center or the Veterans Center.
Looking at the transcript right now, see if I can find the exact point. The Sorensen Center has a couple of staircases that goes up to walkways on the roof. He comes back and says, for the edification, the Sorensen Center was the building in front of the Lucy Center. He's saying the Sorensen Center is what connected to the Lucy Center. So he didn't only talk about the Sorensen Center. He's saying that the Sorensen Center was the one that had the staircases that led up to the roof access to the Lucy Center, which is where the shot came from.
Can you see on if it's actually on connecting?
Yeah, I got the picture right here.
See if they're connecting.
Okay. So this is what I found. So right here, LC, right here, the Lucy Center where the shot came from.
Yeah.
Then right here, the Sorensen Center. Now here is what is known as elevated pathways. That's my assumption as to where they connect to get to roof. This is the connection that I'm assuming is making between the buildings.
I thought that elevated pathways, that elevated point. Where's the place where Charlie was?
I think right here, but hang on. Because the shot came up right here. Looks like a menorah.
Okay, so I think that elevated pathway is the walkway underneath that building.
That makes no sense. Why it says elevated? Why would it be underneath?
Because it's elevated above the courtyard, but it's below the.
But no. Oh, what I was saying is the Lucy Center right here, right? And then this is a real-time view of the Lucy Center. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this right here.
Yeah. Okay.
So now it doesn't look like there's anything connecting it.
Yeah, I think that's that fucking that's that walkway.
Okay. So I don't see.
Those are not connected, bro. Maybe, if anything, right there.
Yeah.
If anything, and that's loosely connected.
So, because this is on the ground right here. Well, this is, yeah.
That is the ground?
Well, like, like stairs going up, but like ground, like elevated, but so elevated walkway, right? So like
I was thinking.
Yeah, so elevated, but not like second story elevated kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's elevated from the courtyard.
Yeah. So elevated as in this is elevated from the stair from the level above it.
Like the walkway that's behind Charlie. So go look behind where Charlie was.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. That's not connecting, bro.
Huh. Okay. We're on to something here. Okay, so like I said, the Lucy Center is where the shot is said to have come from right here. Okay?
Yeah.
And this is the Sorensen Center as said by right here on the UVU map. So Lucy Center here, Sorensen Center here. Okay?
Yeah.
Here is where Charlie was. The 145 yards is what it was. So I was close. Okay. Now, I want to show you something here. This is where Paramount Tactical guy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where he walked the area. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is that elevated area that I guess we're talking about.
Okay.
You see what I was saying earlier? Like you just go to the edge right there and there's nothing that you can hide behind. Just go straight to the edge. So, But again, this looks like it's right at the Lucy Center when he walked up.
Yeah.
Because he's looking at the vantage point going towards where the shooter would be at, looking at Charlie, like across the courtyard.
Yeah, but there's a gap right there with a walkway underneath it.
Yeah, like because of the way the building's shaped. But what I'm saying is you walk over there. This is where the shooter's alleged to be perched at, looking towards 145 yards away where Charlie was at. Okay.
Yeah.
This is what is alleged to be being shown right now. Okay. So again, going back to where we're at here, he's looking at from this vantage point across this gap to where Tyler Robinson was alleged to be, looking across to Charlie right here. Does that seem like a fair assessment?
Well, I thought
that gap you just saw was right here.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like he was looking up, walking up the stairs over here in this area to show like, hey, look, you can get up here. And then he's looking at, look, this is where they were. You saw across this gap. You're like, look, there's a gap. That was because of where the building was shaped.
Okay, that's right there.
And then boom, across. Was that a fair assessment of what I just explained?
I think. See, I thought he was looking up on that other side. So
where, over here?
No, go across.
Here?
Where the white building is, where the cafeteria is. Yeah,
this?
Right there.
No, this is the Sorensen building.
See, I thought that's where he was looking from just now.
No. He's looking at where the shooter was.
Yeah, I thought he was over here looking across.
Because if he was looking from over here, you would have saw a huge gap. But you saw a small gap. Well, you want to watch again?
Yeah, because I'd like to see the reference. There's no reference is the problem.
Well, and he makes a huge gap skip from the bottom walking up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and see, that's what I'm concerned with.
You see, like it just skips. It's like, why the fuck do you skip? But this is the reason why I say where he is. Like, look at right here. You see this little...
Is this the amphitheater right here to the right?
No.
Where's the amphitheater?
Let me tell you where I think this is, and let me explain why. You see, like, where this is in this little, like, circled spot right here? Let me tell you where I think this is, okay? This is just my interpretation of it. I think this is right here. See what I'm saying? That's why I think he is right here. He's one of two places. He's either right here in this area or right here in this area. That's one of two places he has to be at. Because when he walks up, he's looking across to here. Because wherever he's at, he cannot, there's nowhere for him to be looking from up here.
Go back. Let me see the video. Let me see the ground. Okay. Let him go up the stairs.
Okay. So where's this? Let's look for this reference point real quick.
And then, so it's a red roof. So it's a red walkway right there.
Okay. So we have across from here, we have like a little, okay. So what's this?
Ditch.
Okay. This right here. Right here.
Yeah.
So he walks up right here and then he turns. So that's why I say he's over here. He turns and then looks over this way.
So take your mouse to the right. Just a little bit further. Up. So he's over there somewhere.
Yeah, right, that's what I'm saying.
Go further. Go further. Go further right. Go further right. other right, down, right, right there. That's where he went up.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's over in this area right here. That's what I'm saying. Like, because he just looked at this, and then he looked over here to where he was. Okay, so this is where we're in agreement here. Like, he's over here, and then
and the reason I say that, because if you look at the video, go back to the video, and I'm gonna show you why. Here's how I know that's that area. Go back up to let it play, back to that vantage point. Keep going a little bit higher, right there. So if you look at the ground, you see that the red top right there, the red ground.
Yeah.
So how it walks through. So he's way over there.
Yep.
So yeah,
okay.
He's right there looking across.
Yep. Agreed. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So now we narrow down where he is in this video, right over here. And he turns to look right here, which now we know he's over here looking at the Lucy Center, where the alleged shooter, Tyler Robinson, took the shot across the courtyard to the amphitheater where Charlie Kirk is. Now,
okay, where's the Sorensen Center?
This building right here is the Sorensen Center. Okay,
and that's actually the Sorensen Center's where Brian Harpool said that there was the OPSEC threat.
Yes, it is. And we are going to play that right now. Okay.
The Monday before the event, we were still working through the arrival. And so we have concerns with rooftops. We got a location that we're not keen with. We know what our responsibility is. We know what our statutory authority is. We know that we can't go up and set up our guys in sniper observer positions. It's not going to be allowed, and he's okay with it. On Monday before, this correspondence went to Chief Long. Hello, Chief Long. We received this message today from the student group. There is a student roof access pretty close to where CK will be set up at the Utah Valley. The Sorensen Center has a couple of staircases that go up to walkways on the roofs. He comes back.
So he is concerned about the Sorensen Center student access stairways. Now, as we pointed out, the Sorensen Center is right here, and it's very close. It is the closest one to Charlie right here. Is a reasonable thing to be concerned about because that is the closest building to Charlie at the moment. Okay.
Yep.
And for edification, the Sorensen Center was the building in front of the Lucy Center.
And he brings up the Lucy Center where the shot was taken from.
Yep.
And he comes back and he says, you want access to the roof. And came back and said, I was told students have access above us. If this is true, it would be nice to either have it controlled access or allow one of my guys to be there as well, if possible. He comes back and his last correspondence was, I got you covered. What else am I to do?
Okay, first of all, that's bullshit. What else am I supposed to do? I don't know. Follow up, make sure it's fucking covered. So right there, just let you know it's a failure of fucking leadership. But to further take from this, he's making it seem like he addressed the threat of the Sorensen Center when that wasn't where the shot came from, allegedly. The shot that's being reported that none of us are buying came from the Lucy Center. That is where that fucking retard at Paramount Tactical just showed us the Lucy Center. That is what is being reported from the Fed, that the shot came from the Lucy Center. Yeah, he mentioned the Lucy Center, but he has only ever been going on about rooftop threat from the Sorensen Center. So why do we care about the Sorensen Center? Why is he only reporting on the threat from the Sorensen Center? What is his obsession with the Sorensen Center?
Exactly. Look, and I'm going to say this. So he knew there was an operational threat. With the text messages that were sent, there was no follow through. I've got you covered. All right, cool, Chief. What are we doing? Just so that I can address
cool,
that
but
in
what
my
does
brief.
that mean?
Yeah. Are you sending plainclothes officers up there? Are they going to be uniform officers? Are you, setting up any choke points? Are you restricting access? Or what are you doing so that I know what we're doing so that we can plan accordingly? Second to that, if it's that easy of an access to get on there and you're running a 13-man team, why not put one or two guys patrolling up that area? When they are doing their security detail, why aren't they walking across, walking up to the vantage point? Okay, we're good, we're secure, walking down, going to the next one. You know what I mean? Like, no fucking sense. It makes zero fucking sense for operational security.
It blows my mind. Like, the more we dig into this security team, it makes zero sense. You know what I mean? Like, for them to get this security contract so fucking shady.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, for Brian Harpool to do this interview with Sean Ryan and then to highlight that, we were addressing this threat, for the Sorensen Center. And he had this text thread with the chief of police about the Sorensen Center. And then he said, I got it covered, and what am I supposed to do? I don't know, follow
Your
up.
fucking job. Yeah.
But again, why do we care about the fucking Sorensen Center? That's not where the shot came from, allegedly.
Oh, yeah.
But again, like, it's just like, these arguments that are these fucking people are trying to make to say, just believe the federal government, which is mind blowing to me that people now all of a sudden say we should believe the government, especially on the right, which is ridiculous. But I don't get it. And this to me is what pushes people like me and you to be more convicted in our independent nature of, like, now you have all of these right-wing people that, we both used to support and follow, calling on us, on everyone to, like, denounce Candace Owens or Ian Carroll, or, because, like, and people be like, people like Graham Allen being like, if you still follow and support Candace, and unfollow me, you're evil or something. Like, now you just sound like a liberal fucking retard.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally advocating to silence someone, which you're supposed to be against. Like, I can support you and her. I can be like, look, you want to disagree with her, that's fine. But you have no right to try to dictate that I not listen to her or support what she's trying to do. Like, I can sit here and be like, I love what you do on your level, and I love what she does on her level. That's me being an independent person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But no, like, it's fucking mind blowing that you start seeing the real fucking character of these fake ass Republicans.
Oh, yeah.
And know that they're not true conviction believers in what they're supposed to.
Oh, yeah.
And it just is like that. That's why like what I said, I don't know if it was last episode, episode 4, like, true MAGA people like you and I were when it first started, like, is like, there's no more, like, America First is not MAGA. America First is its own thing. Like, people try to, like, no, if you're America First, you are MAGA. Like, no, because these MAGA people are quite clearly putting foreign interests above America, and that's not what we do. And you have to be America First. Like, no, you want my help, you will give something in return. There is no fucking free handouts.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying like MAGA is not America First anymore. And that's why America First should be independent people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But no, back to Harpool, you know, really what he should have done in that situation is have an operator mindset. And what he should have gone through is gone to the venue and stood on different terrains and drawn out a map of different terrains, elevations, everything, any choke points, any threat points. And he should have made a full list and notes and got with his team, discussed it with his team, discussed it with the third party team, which would have been UVU police.
Yeah.
You know, said these are our threats. These are, you know, he should have covered every variable out there, which he didn't. And just for some oversight and follow up on it, make sure everything was perfection and move on. Because look, if this one was that fucking bad, and this one was a pretty easy one to see, like it was pretty easy to see where all your threats come from. Think of as many events as Charlie did, and there was no Tyler Robinson on a roof.
And this wasn't even close to being the largest event Charlie's ever done.
That's what I'm saying. And this isn't even the worst security threat venue. Like there's other venues that they've been at that are really worse venues to be in.
Yeah.
And the situation is if they drop the fucking ball, if it was really Tyler Robinson, okay, that did this, and they dropped the ball that bad on an individual that was untrained and unskilled shooter, not a operator coming in there and exercising full precision and just, I don't know. But just think of how bad the security ops on all these other venues were.
And they just got lucky.
We know this one.
Yeah.
Think of how bad they probably were on the harder venues to keep him protected. And thank God there was no Tyler Robinson on all those.
Yeah.
Like really, there really needs to be some investigation on everything surrounding that fucking company. And I fucking hope Harpool never gets another contract. If that company is not out of business, I hope he never gets another fucking contract. I hope that, honestly, that he gets prosecuted for some sort of negligent manslaughter, negligent homicide, something like that.
Yeah.
And they move on. You know what I mean? Like, I hope no one ever touches him with a 10-foot pole, and I don't think that they will. Like,
no,
I would rather,
I'd
rather fucking him being at the fucking door at my local Walmart whenever I'm trying to walk out. This is, let me see your receipt so I can tell him go fuck himself.
Yeah.
Like,
well, because I mean, from our context in the community that once someone's kind of blacklisted in that community, that they're done. There is no recovery. So
yeah, and and that's why talking to some of the guys that we've talked to has been hard because they have a lot of NDAs, like for working with these firms and all that. Which the fact that Harpool, he went on Sean Ryan, he would have had an NDA. So everything he discussed in that conversation would have been pre-approved, or it would have been given to him like a script that he would have had to memorize before going into.
But so about that, now the NDAs, they come from the company or the client?
The client.
Okay. So TPU,
both essentially.
So I mean, obviously, anything from his standpoint, I mean, he kind of waived himself, but TPUSA would have had to vet what he was going to be asked and how he was going to answer before he went on.
Yes, because it was in conjunction with TPUSA. So because his organization would have signed a blanket NDA.
Yeah.
A complete non-disclosure agreement where they couldn't discuss any of the operations, anything that they saw, heard, anything like that within TPUSA. So then that essentially, whenever they take on a new hire, so, their new operators that they're bringing in, essentially whenever they do their new hire paperwork and they fill out everything when they're doing the background checks and all that good stuff, then part of that new hire paperwork with the I-9 and all
Yeah.
that good shit is going to be a NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And slide
Yeah.
that across the table. Also, what I would assume that he would have done is a no compete to all of his operators, where not a no compete that you can't go work for another company that deals with what we do, but a no compete that says you can't go and start your own business and go
Yeah.
after our direct competition, which is weird because I assume that Schaefer, being as smart as he was, he would have had a no compete in place for Harpool and Flood, where they wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah.
Now it's weird that Flood worked directly for their security firm and was able to even go work directly for Turning Point. That's even weird.
Well, I mean, so
You
for that,
usually
so for that specifically, now going from just one company to a completely different company, I mean, that to me, that's like, okay. I mean, again, I'm not 100%. It's like
typically
I know he
here
was
let-
working like the security for TPUSA, but like he went from private security under Schaefer to being the security director for TPUSA. Like he took on a completely different role. But specifically, I think where we have the bigger gray area issue is Harpool, because he started the company and then took essentially stole the
well,
contract.
no. Let me put it like this to you. So you've got a company and you've got contractors coming in there.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Here, let's put it like a staffing company. Staffing company is a good way to put this, because essentially that security firm was a staffing company. They were doing the security for Turning Point, because Turning Point technically has their own security division, right? So they are third partying out to staff Turning Point's security division.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Most MSAs that you'll sign have an agreement in there that you cannot poach a contractor to come work for the customer. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can't call a staffing company and say, hey, I want to use fucking 2-year guys, and be using them out there. And then all of a sudden say, you know what? I'm just going to hire them because it's going to be cheaper on me. Can't do that. Now, you may have an agreement where you say, hey, I want these guys internally. I'm going to buy them from you. Will you sell me the rights to hire this employee?
Yeah, as far as Flood, I mean, obviously Schaefer might have had to waive the non-compete to have him go work for Flood, for TPUSA.
No, that is an employment agreement. That's not the no compete. Completely different.
Or whatever.
So you still under a no compete, he wouldn't be able to go open up a company against them.
Well, I'm saying whatever they would have to do, they would have to they would come to agreement. But I don't know. I mean, it's so I mean, obviously, I'm guessing. Again, Schaefer is smart enough. I mean, he seems like a pretty smart dude. So I'm guessing he had to have waived the non-compete for Flood or not Harpool to start a company, but wasn't anticipating them to collude to steal his contract, allegedly.
Yeah, potentially. Which, Texas is a hard one to prosecute for and hold someone to the no compete. Texas is a hard state. A lot of states are. You have to, prove explicitly, and it can get expensive, very expensive in court.
Yeah, because you gotta get a bunch of corporate lawyers, and everybody's always fighting to push them off and everything. So
yeah, so it might have been a situation that Schaefer said, you know what, fuck it, let them have it. They'll realize that they're fucked up. and come back. It could have been that kind of situation, or
Yeah.
there's so many different variables, but just as many variables as fucking they overlooked whenever Charlie was assassinated.
Who knows? But I definitely think that there should be an investigation into it. But who knows? I think nothing essentially will come of it, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
I think at least, even though we're small time, I think there still needs to be it still needs to be put out there for someone to know. So
yeah.
but it's been a few episodes. I don't think you've noticed. It's been a few episodes since we've done a Would You Rather. So we need to let's wrap it up and throw some in there.
Okay. Damn, I'm almost too pissed off to do a fucking Would You Rather now, because the more I'm thinking about this shit,
Yeah.
Man, I don't even have one right now.
Would you rather bang a furry or a tranny?
Furry.
What kind?
A female.
No, like what kind of animal?
Oh. A fox, because I'd pull that fucking butt plug out and be like, what does the fox say? We're going to find that one out. Oh, fuck.
Oh, man. All right. Well, episode 12. And we spent it all on one topic, but it's a good topic, it's an important topic. So,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, we'll wrap it up. But, as always.
Hold on.
What?
I got new boots.
Fucking faggot. What, gator?
No, these ones are python.
Oh. All right. So, he's got them snakeskin boots because he's gay.
Yeah. I saw them. Well, actually, I was going to get some different ones, and then I saw these, and I was like, they look good. I had to get them. But.
So. All right, y'all. Texas forever.